How to learn Italian fast. 10 quality tips endorsed by science. Italian is a beautifully poetic language spoken by around 234 million people worldwide, so it's no surprise that it's one of the most studied languages in the world for culture and pleasure. Italian also happens to be one of the easiest languages for English speakers to learn because not only is its vocabulary widely used in English, just think of words like a diva, a fiasco, or a finale, but it also has a very similar sentence structure to English. Of course, like any language, Italian does have its complexities, and becoming fluent in it will require some patience and perseverance. So what's the fastest way to learn Italian? We've compiled 23 science-backed tips to help you successfully master this Latin-based language in record time and start putting it to use in your day-to-day life. 1. Put new words into practice. How fast can you learn Italian? Research shows that context is important when learning new vocabulary. This is because we're more likely to remember new words if we can connect them to the specific situations we might use them. So, for example, rather than trying to memorize a random list of Italian words, think about the words you might need to know in order to tell someone about your favorite hobby or the place you grew up as a child. Thinking about new words in this way will also help you identify any gaps in your knowledge, such as using the Italian past or future tense. 2. Master the pronunciation first. Although learning the tones of a language before memorizing the words and their meaning might seem confusing at first, research shows that focusing on pronunciation before vocabulary is a more effective way to learn a new language. Why? As babies, we possess the ability to distinguish sounds in all languages. However, as we become experts in our language, this ability tends to fade away. This is why as adults, we struggle to categorize the new sounds we encounter when learning a new language. Without the ability to accurately categorize the sounds, it becomes more difficult to commit new vocabulary to memory. Fortunately, researchers have found that simply spending some time training our ears to recognize the unfamiliar tones of a new language before learning the vocabulary can make the whole learning process much easier. So, in this case, start with mastering the pronunciation of the Italian alphabet, and build from there. 3. Language immersion. Widely considered one of the best ways to learn a foreign language, language immersion involves diving into a language completely, sometimes being exposed to foreign vocabulary even before you're sure of its meaning. For example, at a beginner's level, you might have an instructor who speaks to you slowly and clearly in your target language rather than introducing foreign vocabulary in your native language. The idea is that you'll catch on through association, and start practicing straight away, leading to faster and deeper learning. Of course, this doesn't mean diving into the deep end. You begin at the appropriate level for you. It just means immersing yourself as much as possible in vocab and concepts that you're likely to grasp with a little context. Check out the classic Berlitz method, which popularized immersive language learning. Immersive language learning is proven to be one of the fastest and most effective language learning techniques. 4. Listen to Italian music and podcasts. Since learning a new language is easier when you first master the pronunciation, it's worth setting aside some time to listen to Italian music and podcasts. Not only will this help you familiarize yourself with the tones and sounds, but it will also give you a bit of an insight into Italian culture and spark your curiosity to learn more. One study even found that listening and singing along to foreign language songs can facilitate language learning. 5. Watch Italian movies and TV shows. Watching subtitled Italian movies and TV shows is another way to learn to recognize and repeat novel Italian tones and sounds. Research also shows that watching subtitled media is effective in helping us learn foreign languages. One study by researchers from Pompeu Fabra University in Barcelona found that exposing Spanish students of English to an English TV show with Spanish subtitles for just 1 hour resulted in improved speech perception. 6. Make your learning practical. Once you've familiarized yourself with how the Italian language sounds and are ready to begin learning some vocabulary, try to focus on practical phrases that you'll use in everyday situations. Research shows that context, or in other words, how words relate to the situation they might arise in, is important in language learning. In this way, we can begin to understand and predict meaning before we actually encounter specific words. For instance, who is involved in a conversation? What's the theme of a conversation? Where might the conversation be taking place? By linking certain words or phrases you're learning to specific situations, you'll be more likely to remember them. If you need some inspiration for this, check out our free Italian lessons on our Learning Italian blog. Here, it's all about practical applications of the Italian language in daily life. Learn Italian fast by making your learning practical. 7. Read Italian children's books. Research shows that visual cues can enhance learning by helping us better retrieve and recall information, even years down the line. With this in mind, another way to remember more of the new Italian vocabulary you're learning is to use visual cues, such as pictures, to represent the words and phrases you are learning. Since children's books are full of illustrations and images as well as simple phrases, they can be useful learning tools for adult language learners. 8. Follow the Italian news. Wondering how to learn Italian fast? Reading, watching, or listening to Italian news is an excellent way to immerse yourself in the culture while also familiarizing yourself with unfamiliar words and sounds. One benefit of the news is that it's written in a standardized way or read out in standard dialect, which can make it easier for beginners to follow than a TV show that's peppered with slang or colloquial language. While you certainly won't understand everything right away, you can start by writing down any new words and pausing to look them up. You'll soon find that you can understand more and more of the news stories you're reading or listening to. 9. Teach someone a few Italian words. Research shows that teaching others can help you better understand and retain that knowledge yourself. This is known as the learning by teaching effect. Although the exact reasons for this are not yet fully understood, it makes sense that teaching would help you organize what you've learned in order to explain it to someone else in simpler terms. Teaching can also help you identify gaps in your knowledge and then work on strengthening these weaker areas. So why not find a friend or family member who would like to learn some Italian and teach them some of the things you've learned so far? Man teaches his friend a few Italian words so that he can learn Italian fast. 10. Read the labels on food products. Since learning is more effective when it's engaging, one different approach you can take to learning Italian vocabulary is reading the labels on various Italian food products. Doing this will also give you a chance to see familiar words used in different contexts. For example, you could try to follow some of the cooking instructions or serving suggestions and look up any unfamiliar words as you go along. If you're not based in Italy, you could still look for Italian supermarkets or online retailers that stock Italian food products.